Hello and welcome. Thank you for your interest in GPX Medical. My name is Hanna Sjöström and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of GPX Medical. And I'd like to tell you about our vision to revolutionize the care of preterm-born infants with our medical technology innovation that has extraordinary potential to upgrade the current standard of care for these very fragile patients. Throughout the years, Sweden has played a critical role in the development of modern care for preterm-born infants, or as we call it, neonatal care. And this is why over 90% of preterm-born infants survive today. Such was not the case before modern neonatal care was introduced in the 1970s. At that time, the mortality rate of children weighing under a kilo was over 90%. Since then, we have developed a world-class level of neonatal care. But despite these successes, never before have we had so many cases of babies born too soon. Today, 1 in 10 infants are born preterm and many depend on neonatal intensive care for their survival. And this is because mothers are older when they first have children, have health issues such as diabetes and high blood pressure, or undergo fertility treatments that results in twins and triplets. C-sections are also becoming more common, letting us save many children early on. The fact is that preterm birth is the most common cause of death for infants under the age of 5. And this is also addressed in the United Nations Agenda 2030, Goal 3.2, addressing specifically that no infant born preterm should die of preventable causes. Every other child born very preterm shows signs of severe disability around 11 years of age, such as limited cognitive abilities, sight impairment, physical disabilities, and breathing problems. A preterm-born infant requires constant observation because their health can quickly deteriorate by lung collapse or other serious complications. And this is currently monitored using chest X-rays, blood samples, and sometimes ultrasounds. However, these methods are just snapshots of what's going on in the lungs. Today's monitoring methods also increase the infant's risk of developing illness later in life. According to clinical praxis, preterm-born infants are examined with X-ray, sometimes daily, to get a snapshot of the lung function. Research show that they, compared to adults exposed to X-ray, have 10 to 15 times higher risk of developing cancer later in life. Therefore, the healthcare system needs a new, safe, and risk-free method that can constantly monitor preterm-born infants in a way that doesn't harm them. That's why we have developed Neola, Neonatal Lung Analyzer, a medical device offering non-invasive 24-hour monitoring of lungs with an instant detection of pulmonary complications and an alarm function. We think Neola can be a game changer in the pediatric landscape. It provides continuous non-invasive lung monitoring and real-time alerts of life-threatening complications for objective decision-making. Neola uses a biomedical application of gas mask technology originally developed by researchers at the Division of Atom Physics at Lund University in Sweden. And I encourage you to watch my colleague, Dr. Sara Bergsten, Chief Technology Officer at GPX Medical, explain how this amazing technology works in a separate video. Healthcare professionals, such as neonatologists, have experienced firsthand how constant lung monitoring in combination with real-time alerts could have made a difference in treating a preterm-born infant in intensive care. When you do the morning round, you discover that the child has had a partial or full lung collapse overnight. If you had discovered this immediately, you would have treated the infant instantly and the infant would have received better care. Today's standard of neonatal care is associated with significant costs to the healthcare system. It can reach up to 10,000 euros per infant per day. Therefore, early detection of lung complications in preterm-born infants may lead to fewer days in intensive care and fewer routine chest X-ray and blood sampling, a very invasive and painful method for these fragile patients. Clearly, the medical need for new devices in neonatal care is significant and is driven by a number of factors. 1, an increase in the number of neonatal clinics worldwide. 2, an increase in the number of preterm births and due to a variety of factors. 3, we're seeing a rise in the number of public and private initiatives to improve neonatal care. An increased medical need for better neonatal care means that there is a high demand for technological innovation and a willingness to pay more for it. In addition, there is a significant market growth and demand in high-income countries such as the US, Europe, and China. Moreover, development of medical technology has almost exclusively focused on devices for adults, which have been acknowledged by the FDA. And therefore, the agency has taken concrete steps to incentivize development of medical devices for children and infants. Given these market drivers, the market for Neola is very wide-ranging. Our focus markets within the OECD countries currently consist of approximately 4,200 clinics and at least 60,000 beds. This corresponds to a demand for 60,000 Neola units. The US is the single largest market with 22,000 beds alone in neonatal intensive care units. Taken all together, our global addressable market for Neola is expected to reach 586 million euros annually, of which the US is by far the largest market. We are currently developing 2 types of Neola systems. The standalone Neola is placed next to the infant's ventilator or incubator, and we're preparing the process to obtain a CE marking in Europe as well as FDA approval in the US. The Neola module, on the other hand, can be incorporated into the infant's overall surveillance system at the clinic or integrated in a ventilator. We are truly excited about our next company milestone, namely that we will go public on the Nasdaq First North Growth Market in Stockholm on October 2nd, 2020. Here is an overview of our additional milestones up to and including the year 2022. In 2020 and beginning of 2021, we are aiming to have performed preclinical and clinical pilot studies and set a clinical study plan with key opinion leaders. We are now developing Neola's final product features and plan to perform usability studies with neonatologists and nurses, appoint a clinical director, and obtain competent authority approval. Finally, in 2022, we plan to initiate a product pre-series, initiate clinical validation, and submit documents to notified bodies. Finally, we arrive at why us? Why invest in GPX Medical? But there's a great clinical need. With Neola, GPX Medical can create new conditions to upgrade today's neonatal care through better care, fewer days in intensive care unit, and at the end of the day, healthier lives for preterm-born infants. We're also confident in our proven and patented technology, where we have several applications for both children and adults, such as diagnosis of sinusitis and lung monitoring in older children and potentially older adults. In addition, GPX Medical's strong patent portfolio, our experienced team, and support from key opinion leaders provides us with a strong foundation in product development and commercialization, as well as deep knowledge of neonatal care. A final question. Did you know that diagnostic ultrasound was first developed here in Lund, Sweden in the 1950s? With Neola, Lund-based medtech innovation once again has the potential to revolutionize healthcare worldwide. I'm looking forward to hearing from you about how you can help us on our journey to give preterm-born infants a better start in life. Thank you again for taking the time to listen and for your interest in GPX Medical.